Hey guys and gals, this is Alex with Legendary Apartment Brokers. Today is Monday, August 11th. This is the KC Multifamily Minute, where I break down every single new multifamily opportunity that hits the open market here in Kansas City. Give you my 2-second opinion on it. What class is it? Where's it located? What's the price per unit? Maybe spot out some rents, if it's a good deal or a bad deal, and how it fits into your 1031 exchange, or if you're an active real estate investor. Today we got a bunch of statistics coming up here for you. We'll talk about the July numbers so far, August numbers so far, what we got new on the market here. So first up, what do we got? So there's total out there across Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, MLS, my website, LegendaryApartmentBrokers.com, all those different platforms here in Kansas City, the metro, the 7 counties of the metro. There's 83 listings out there. 69 of those are active, means you can go out there and get them. That's $500,000 plus that was built before 2020. So those should be affordable to you. Now, not every deal is going to work for you, but there's plenty out there to look at, which means there's 14 currently under contract. We've got 4 new ones to look at, mostly fourplexes, duplexes here this week. A couple other ones we've already seen in the past. That's MLS specific data. Then over here on LoopNet, so podcast listeners, I'm going to pull up the LoopNet website just real quick. There's a couple new ones out here, really only one new opportunity out here, but what about the past deals? So 42 listings out there, 37 of those are marked under contract, 5 of those are new, 5 of those are under contract. 1 is new this week. We'll talk about that, even though this shows 2 here for podcast listeners. There's a 55 plus property that is in Olathe for close to $4 million. I'm not sure I believe some of the statistics here and what we're looking at. So I'm not even going to cover that one because that seems a little bit of an oddball, especially 55 plus. However, we do have one new one here on LoopNet, which I will cover in a second. But first up, for podcast listeners, I wanted to show some statistics about how we're looking for multifamily only compared to past years. So I've got pulled up here statistics for the past 5 years, the 7 counties only, $500,000 plus, or actually $300,000 plus, assuming it's 5 units or more. So true multifamily, not duplex, fourplex kind of deals we got going on here. Now, as you remember, maybe last year there was under 90 total that were actually sold as recorded on the MLS. Maybe there's another 90 that were sold off market. Maybe that's 200, but that's only 300. And let's just exaggerate. So there's 300, 5 units or more that were sold in the 7 counties of Kansas City. That's not much. Just for comparison, there are over 5,000 houses that were sold as owner-occupied houses here in the last month. That's just the last month. We're talking 300 for the entire year in multifamily. So we're going to talk about some other data points, but I always think it's good to see, okay, how are things trending? How are things looking? So really what we're looking at here is this kind of teal color is 2025 across the board. January, February, all of this is very similar because we're only talking about, 2 to 10 different transactions per month that really are going to skew the numbers. So even looking at a yearly basis is going to give us a lot better indication. But you can see maybe March and February were better. These are just closings only, by the way. Then you've got May that was quite a lot better than 2024, really better than any other year prior to that. Then you got June that was even better than the last June. Now we got July, which is a lot worse than the prior July. So I got July pulled up here. Looks like we've got about 9 closings that were $300,000 plus, that were 5 plexes or larger, compared to the prior year, which had about 13. And then this year, month to date so far, we're a little bit behind where August was last year. I'm honestly not even sure if that's the full month or just through today's date, which is August 11th. So the bottom line is here, nothing's flying off the pages as far as how we're doing from a volume standpoint, from a transaction standpoint, using MLS data. We're just kind of stagnant here. We're not excited. We're not unexcited. Deals are happening. Nothing is like crazy slow or crazy hot the way I look at it, just because the volume's not there, okay? So now let's pop on over to another chart I've got pulled up. Now this is just duplexes. So this is like the smallest and in theory the cheapest true multifamily property set you could have MLS data. And this gives us a little bit better picture of as far as what's really going on because we have a lot more data to see how things are going. So duplexes and higher, or sorry, just duplexes. You can see we're somewhere, let's just call it somewhere around 30 per month transaction wise. Looking at, let's just pick on July because that was last month. July, we had a little bit fewer closings than in 2024, but more than 2023. And then you go back another month again. June is very similar, right? A little bit fewer closings in 2024, but more than 2023. Same thing with May. A little bit fewer closings than 2024, but more than 2023. And that's kind of the trend here basically since spring is we're trending lower a little bit less than where we were at last year. And this is just duplex only. So this gives us maybe an indication of we might be a little bit behind last year. I mean, I feel we're a lot behind on especially the larger stuff. But even in the duplex smaller market, we're behind in total number of transactions. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're looking at things. Again, I'll continue to say it's a buyer's market. Now's a great time to buy. Rates, you can almost guarantee, I think I said last week, I would bet my life savings that rates would come down at some point. Now, of course, that could be 10 years from now, but rates are going to come down. The current administration is not going to just sit around and let rates be stagnant. So that will be impacted one way or another, either recession or suppression or changing the guard, whatever, that will happen at some point, I believe, okay? All right, so that's all the stats. Let's get that out of the way. Happy to share those with me. You can reach out, email me, alex@legendaryapartmentbrokers.com. I'll send that to you. But let's pop on over to LoopNet now for podcast listeners. There's one opportunity to talk about here. This is on the open market. This is actually, I'm zooming in here. This is right next to state line. So it's on the Missouri side, just south of 435, just barely east of state line. It's called Chapel Hill. It's 56 units. We don't have a price on it. I would consider this a Class B location. Strong B. I don't think it's a B plus. Could be. I don't think it's a Class A. I don't think it's into the C. So it's just a B location. 56 units. A lot of them are 2 bedrooms. If you've got a 10, now they're not putting the price on here because this is that broker style. But if you got a 1031 exchange, you want to look at see what this looks like. Could be an interesting opportunity there for 56 units. My guess is, just looking at photos and different things, probably $100,000 plus per unit, depending on what rents are, but I could be wrong. So anyway, reach out. We could talk about that one, see how that fits in for your 1031 exchange, and see where you want to go from there, okay? All right, so zooming back out, that's everything new on LoopNet. So we're done with LoopNet now. For podcast listeners, I popped over to my website, which I've got a map pulled up of all the new listings here. Most of these are fourplexes. So we'll just start off on the upper left. Platte City. Not going to talk about hardly this at all. It's a duplex for $620,000. That's $300 and we'll just call it $310,000 per side. Looks like probably 2-stall garage on each side. However, that's a lot of money for a duplex. I know you could live in one side, rent out the other, but you could buy a lot of houses for that in different locations. I understand it's a newer construction. It's not brand new, though I can tell based on the color. So we're going to skip over that one, and let's head on over to this Overland Park property. Well, what is it? No, we're going to talk about this Overland Park property. Podcast list. We're zooming in here to this Overland Park property. It is actually a bunch of lots located downtown Overland Park, so I'd hardly call it multifamily. It's more of a redevelopment place. We're not going to talk a ton about it. $1 million is your entry point. They want you to do a redevelopment there, so unless you're ambitious and love long projects, I'd stay away from that one. Could be cool, but it's going to take a long time to get your money back out of it, and you have to be very patient and be it could be some risks in there that I wouldn't want to take on if it was me. But cool project for somebody that's got that kind of attitude. Overland Park Course, Class A location there right downtown. Amazing location. Next up, we've got another property in Overland Park, way south, 152nd Street. Zooming in here, South Overland Park, duplex for $500,000. Again, 2-stall garages for each side, very large. This one I could actually see as working because of the cost of houses in Overland Park skyrocketing. 2-stall garage, amazing. I wouldn't be shocked if this is not there coming soon because of how big it is and how unique it could be with the two stall garage per side. Rents here, you probably could get $2,500 per side on rents, depending what the inside looks like. So that one could be an interesting fit for somebody that knows Overland Park market and wants to take a chance really at seeing what they can do with the duplex there, but could be an interesting fit for somebody. I do like that one. Okay. All right. So zooming back out here, sorry. A couple other opportunities I'll talk about. Another one down here in Blue Springs. It's a fourplex for $800,000. Again, $200,000 per unit. Rents are probably going to top out somewhere around $1,800 per unit. So on the surface, it kind of makes sense. It's kind of a tight neighborhood. It's actually pretty close to where my kids go to school. I know this part well over here. This is the map is actually, I think, mislabeled. I believe it's over here more than where it's showing. But again, it's $800,000 for a fourplex in Blue Springs with $1,800 rents, probably topping out there. Class A location. Could be a good fit for a 1031 if you can make the numbers work. Typically, I'm not seeing a ton or really any fourplexes selling for that kind of price. So that would be a new high watermark price for a fourplex in Blue Springs. But just my 2 cents there. I like some things about it, but I think we can find more affordable fourplexes in other locations that are also Class A or B. So that's giving me my 4 cents there instead of 2 cents. Zooming in now, podcast listeners, I'm on here on Benton Boulevard, east of 71, east of 70. I mean, I don't do any business really in this area. It's by the Kansas City VA Med Center, $750,000 for a couple of brick colonnade style buildings. Class C minus location, in my opinion. So I'm not going to talk too much more about that. Okay. All right. So that's everything on the open market here for podcast listeners. For YouTube viewers, appreciate your listening. We got over 1,000 downloads now on my podcast alone. Well over 2,500 views on my YouTube channel. So I really appreciate all your support. You got any questions? You want to talk more about these deals or the statistics talked about here? Email me, alex@legendarypropertybrokers.com. We'll talk soon.